So this question looks like it's going to be a translate word problem question. It says oil and gas production in a certain area dropped from 4 million barrels from 4 million barrels in 2000 to 1.9 million barrels in 2013. So with translate word problem questions, we just want to stop at the end of each sentence. I'm going to stop there and just write down a little note that represents what that sentence was all about. So I'm going to say 4 million. This was in the year 2000. And we have 1.9 million, and this is in the year 2013. Assuming that the oil and gas production decreased at a constant rate, which of the following, okay, so constant rate decreased, that's very interesting. Which of the following linear functions, okay, that's also very interesting. Anytime on this test you see the wording linear function, you should think of y equals mx plus b, and usually we'd be focused on finding m because typically b is given to you on this test. So let's keep reading and see if that's what is happening here. So which of the following linear functions f best models the production in millions of barrels t years after the year 2000? So if t is the variable that represents years, then I'm going to put t above here, and I'm going to say instead of an x, I should have a t. So I'm going to rewrite this as y equals mt plus b. And then the other thing that changes here is that it says we're looking at t years after the year 2000. So instead of having 2000 here, I'm going to put 0 because the year 2000 is 0 years after the year 2000. And instead of 2013, I'm going to replace that with 13, again, because the year 2013 is 13 years after the year 2000. So like I had mentioned, it looks like all of our answer choices already have our y-intercept. There's no question or doubt about it. It's going to be equal to 4. So I'm not concerned about b, which means I need to find m. Now, how do we find m? M, or slope, is the same as rise over run. It's also equal to y sub 2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So for us, right, our t value or our time value is like our x value. So that means that in the denominator is where I should have my x2 minus x1. Let's call this x1, making this x2, which makes this y1, and making this y2. So y2 minus y1 would be 1.9 minus 4, and then x2 minus x1 would be 13 minus 0. 1.9 minus 4 is equal to negative 2.1, and 13 minus 0 is equal to positive 13. So here's my slope, right? So m equals negative 2.1 over 13. So then my equation would be, again, because we're dealing with f of t instead of y, it'd be f of t equals negative 2.1 over 13t, and then plus 4. We know that because it's given, but we also kind of know that because of this point here, right? The 4 and 0 going together, my x1, y1, my y-intercept, which is the value of y when x is 0, is equal to 4. So I don't see that answer on here, but I do see something that looks very close to it, which is choice C. So what happened? All they did between what I have and choice C is they multiplied top and bottom by 10 to not have a decimal, right? So negative 2.1 times 10 is negative 21. 13 times 10 is 130. And because you're multiplying both the numerator and the denominator by 10, that's perfectly fine. It doesn't change the value of the equation. So that's our final answer, choice C.